Alright, so I decided I was going to make a video regarding rampant monetization in video games, specifically my this game that is very near and dear to my heart, War Thunder, and this is this is what I opened War Thunder 2 when I launched the game. So there's a good example of the monetization of this game right there. It worked out so beautifully. Yeah, let's talk about rampant monetization, and the very first message I get is, "Hey, you want to pay for our game?" So I feel like I should start this off by talking about the economics of the game really briefly. Basically, you have a bunch of different vehicles. They're tanks, helicopters, planes, open ocean boats, and coastal boats, but no one plays boats because they suck. Basically, what you do, you get these planes that you start out with that are all reserves. You play them, you get research points, which you can put into any of the open available planes that you have access to, and then over time, you will unlock those. And as you go further down, the planes cost more and more research points. So, this thing costs 95,000. This thing costs 340,000. This costs, let's see, what this costs 400,000. So the more modern your vehicle is, the more it costs to get to. It also costs more silver lines, which are the primary currency. Um, and see, this costs 370,000, but I'm fucking poor, and I only have 277,000, so I cannot purchase the Act 17. But that's not the worst thing because it kind of sucks. There are also the premium currencies, like you could see for that's how you buy a premium account. Without further ado, let's get into the gameplay a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna jump into battle here, and the format is basically I'm gonna talk about what I'm doing in battle, and when I'm not doing that, I'm gonna rant about the monetization of this game. Starting off, I'm in the Golovachev's Yak 9M, which is a premium vehicle, which means that I get more silver lines and more research points for playing it. Um, and it's one of my favorites. It's a pretty low battle rating, which is the system that basically determines what other planes and tanks you fight. So this plays against pretty early planes, and it's a yak, and I love yaks. Yaks are gorgeous. Aesthetically, they perform really well. I have a lot of experience with them because there are a lot of yaks in the Soviet tech tree, and I have all of them, um, except for the Yak 3 VK107, but that's a really special one that I'm not dishing out $50 for. Um, but yeah, I guess that's a good place to start. Once I explain that we're gonna climb because that's how you play props in this game. You climb to get an energy advantage over your opponents, so that you can dictate how the fight goes. Um, Anywho, monetization. So as I mentioned, this is a premium vehicle, and premium vehicles are vehicles that you have to spend either real life money or premium currency, which you have to spend real life money to get, um, to be able to obtain. Um, and as I mentioned, they give you greater silver line rewards, which makes um, purchasing vehicles significantly easier, as well as putting them in crew slots and purchasing the different module upgrades that you can get for every vehicle. Um, so premium vehicles, they're really nice to have because they make grinding the different vehicles and the different modules significantly faster. Um, One of the problems with this, though, is that they're almost necessary to a point, um, because I've been playing this game for, I want to say, 6 years at this point, relatively consistently. There have been gaps here and there where I didn't play, but I've been playing primarily the Soviet tech tree because that's what I enjoy. That's just it's just a me thing. And I've been playing the Soviet tank tree since 2016, and I still haven't unlocked everything in it yet. Um, Albeit there is only one more vehicle left for me to unlock, but still, the fact that I've been playing the game for this long and I still have not fully unlocked the tech tree is remarkable. And I think that's just a testament to how much of a grind the game is. Um, and I say that because the Soviet tech tree is one of 8 tech trees, 9. I don't remember how many nations there are right now. Actually, hold on, I can check. There are 10. There are 10 tech trees, and the Soviets are one of them. They aren't the biggest, of course, but they that's still 1/10 of the total number of vehicles in this game, because they're a ridiculous number. They're like 2,200 vehicles in the game that you can obtain, and to be able to play the game enough to unlock every single one of them is just an outrageous feat, especially if you don't have the premium vehicles or the premium time, which gives you more silver lines and more research points again, to do so. Both of those things are very helpful in grinding out the vehicles, and without them, it just makes the grind that much longer. So, I guess I'm going to rotate into one of the aspects of this, which is the fact that most of the advertisement for this game advertises modern content. So in April or May, Gaijin released the F-14A, which is the plane that they use in the Top Gun movie. And they, of course, released it to coincide with the release of the Top Gun movie, so that, people would be, like, more hyped for it, and people would be wanting to get it more because, oh, it's a new fancy thing in the game. But the problem with that is that to actually get to the F-14A, you have to grind through the entirety of the American tech tree, which is massive. It's like 60 planes, and you need to get, like, 40 of them to be able to unlock the F-14. And so, to a new player that sees an advertisement for the F-14, they're not going to be able to get that very easily unless they spend a lot of money on the game. I'm not going after that SM-79 because he is a bomber, and the armaments on Yak 3 are not very good at killing bombers because I don't have much in terms of gunpowder. And also, he's below me, and I'd much rather have altitude to fight the fighters, because that's more fun than fighting bombers. Anywho, yeah. So they added the F-14, and then right before that, they also added the A-10 Thunderbolt, which in the plane nerd community is massively popular. It is a ground attack aircraft from like the 80s. It's American. It's really goofy. It looks kind of funny. It's got this really big gun. I'm going to put a clip of the sound that it makes right here. I'm going head-on with the 109, by the way. It's 109F. I think it's an F2. Yes. Which is a relatively scary plane for me to face at this battle rating. But we're gonna fight him anyway. He looks like he's gonna dive out, and I don't really want to dive out because the Yaks are not very good at high speed. They compress really hard, which means that the control surfaces refuse to deflect as much as they should, so you cannot turn as tightly and stuff like that. I decided I'm going to go back after them. But yeah, so they added the A-10 Thunderbolt, and there's a tech tree version, which is, 60 or 70% of the way through the American tech tree, that is going to take months and months of grinding only American planes to get to. Or you can buy the $60 premium one that comes fully unlocked, and it's very easy to get. You just have to dish out your wallet. Okay, now I'm going to talk about this furball, because this is a really good dogfight here. And it's not really a one-on-one it's good. It's the whole furball. We're in a weird sort of rolling scissors with this 109 F2. I tried cutting throttle, but realized that wasn't necessarily the best maneuver. I'm just going to kind of sit in front of him, because I'm a yak and I can turn pretty well. Although I'm going really slow, and I kind of realized that. I dropped the landing flaps right here, which gives me a little bit more lift to turn tighter. I realize that he's going to pull his nose in on me, so I dive out a little bit to pick up more speed and to turn better. And then I see the C-202s right behind him, and I'm like, oh good, he can get that guy off my ass. And he does, but he doesn't kill him, which is convenient for me later, because, spoiler, I will kill him. I'm going to turn back into him. I'm not going to go directly after him because I want a better deflection shot. The camera is just going to absolutely shit on me right here. And then I'm going way faster than him, so I'm going to overshoot. So I pull over him. And I'm about to black out, but it's okay. He's back there, and then I see these three guys right here, and I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. The P-51, I think that was, tries to go head-on with me. I don't want any of that. I have so much more energy than him that it would be a waste to go head-on with him. The 109 is going to try to get shots on me again. We're going to dodge those. Try to get shots on the P-51. We miss. Unfortunate. That would have been my ace if I had gotten that kill. I do get 4 kills this game, so there's a spoiler. The 109F goes in front of me, and I rip his wing off. That was some decent gunnery. I'll take it. Finally get that guy out of the match, which is the most scary of the vehicles that are around here. We're going to go after the P-51 and the P-63, and there's also a P-40 who looks like he wants to come head-on. I don't want that because he has a bunch of 50 cals, which are really scary and head-on. I go after the P-63, rip his wing off pretty easily. We're going to go up. We're going to try to go after the P-40, and we miss because we have a skill issue. We're going to try to go around again. The P-40 gets absolutely shit on. I'm like, oh, that's all of them. And I'm like, wait, no, the P-51 is right below me, which is really unfortunate because that means I don't have a shot. I'm going to go up and over, and right as I get my nose on, he dies. So that was a really fun little furball there. I've not had one like that in a hot minute. I say P-39N is scary because it's a pretty scary vehicle. It has really good performance for this battle rating. So I'm going to kind of go away from him. I'm very sick, by the way, so that's why my voice probably sounds like shit. Yeah, I say P-39 scary. I'm flying perpendicular to him. I'm checking the scoreboard. I see that he's not done much this game, so he's not as scary as he normally would be in that plane. Because, you know, the plane can be really scary, but that doesn't necessarily mean the player knows how to use it. So we're going to go back in and deal with him. And we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, so they added like these premium vehicles, which are just significantly easier to get to because you just need to fork out $60 for them. Which, by the way, is the cost of an entire AAA game. And I don't know if a single plane in a game is really worth the AAA price. But anywho, we're coming up on this P-39. I thought he was coming towards me, but he was not. We're gonna get the shot. We shoot the machine guns, we shoot the cannons, and then he dies to someone else, which is really unfortunate. That also could have been my ace, but alas. We see the Corsair. We're gonna go after him. And this DB7 really wants help, but he's running away, which is like the least helpful thing you can do to get help. But, you know, that's the player base for you. They don't necessarily know what they're doing. Not to claim that I do, but I kind of have a sense of what I'm doing. Anywho, yeah, they add all these premium vehicles, which are necessary to deal with the absolute slogfest that is grinding through the tech trees. And they're highly incentivized because they're easy to get to. If you're new to the game, you can just fork out $60 and boom, you have a supersonic jet. When normally it takes years to get a supersonic jet. Like, I didn't get my first... I think I got the MiG-19 after 4 years of playing this game. Which, you know, that's a lot of time, especially because I played almost exclusively the Soviet planes. When I did play planes, I play tanks more often than planes, but I feel planes are more interesting to commentate over. Yeah, we're gonna catch up on this stuff for you. He doesn't know that I'm here. He's kind of oblivious. He's tunnel visioned. He notices me, but he's going way too slow. He's gonna shoot off his rockets to try to lose weight, but that's not gonna help him. I set him on fire. I crit him. I don't know what that crit was. Oil tank, that doesn't really do much, but he's gonna burn up. I think someone might try to come and steal that kill, but it's not gonna be an issue. And there he goes. I get the fun dopamine-inducing aircraft destroyed, the cool bell sound, which is like a direct morphine drip of happiness when you play this game. Um, and then I'm gonna go back and land. But yeah, so they keep adding things like premium vehicles and stuff like this that you kind of need to progress through the game if you're going to do it at any sort of reasonable pace, and it's just kind of scummy. Um, a different topic now is the patches. Every 2 months, Gaijin comes out with a major patch. The most recent one, Fire and Ice, added a Finnish subtree to the Swedish tanks, um, and no one wanted it, really. Like, it wasn't anything people asked for, but they decided that was necessary. All of these tanks are copy paste. Um, they all exist somewhere else in the game, and they decided that they needed more of them. So this is a really boring subtree. The patch before that, they added like attack drones and scout drones, which were an awful idea, and everyone complained about and hated them. But Gaijin does what it wants without player feedback, so that's just a fact of life. Um, and with this new tech tree, they added a bunch of new tanks that you need to get, but to get them, you have to grind through so much of the Swedish tech tree. Um, and so there's just another aspect of like every couple months there are a bunch of new things that you have to grind through. Um, I think this is going to actually have to be my last take because I am losing my voice. But anywho, we take off. We're gonna skirt the ground because it's fun and it makes me feel cool. And then we're gonna point our nose at the Heinkel 111, and we're just gonna go kind of deal with him. Um, but yeah, there are these different aspects. There's a battle pass in the game now, which sucks. Usually, you have to pay like $10 effectively to be able to unlock a bunch of copy and paste planes and tanks and even boats. But again, no one fucking plays boats. They suck. They're lame, and they're not fun. Um, so that's a thing that you have to do. There's also the Gaijin Marketplace, which is like some really weird, like invisible hand of the free market sort of system where there are like event vehicles that you can get by playing in events, which I usually never actually participate in just because I don't know, it's kind of coincidental, and also I'm always kind of burnt out by the time the events come around anyway, so I don't want to grind through those. But you can sell them for Gaijin coin, which are pretty much 1-to-1 US dollars, and then you can buy things with those Gaijin coin in the Gaijin store. Um, and it's just like, it's kind of weird. Like, you can just do that. Like, there's some tanks that cost upwards of $1,000. Like the IS-7 is a Soviet heavy tank that was an event vehicle from like 2018 or something, and I think it's like a $534 list price right now. I tell the Heinkel 111 that he can drop his bombs. I'm not going to attack him because I'm trying to be nice. He can get some research points for that. And then he starts shooting at me, so I'm like, not gonna put up with that. We're gonna dive on him, and we're gonna miss a little bit, crit him, and just kind of annihilate him. I don't know what that was there. But yeah, so that's pretty much that match finished. I think I've ranted about all of the really awful monetization things. To summarize it, there's the premium vehicles, premium time, and the horrifically long grind that makes the game kind of unplayable if you want the advertised vehicles without actually dishing out money for them. Yeah, so that was a pretty decent game. We got 4 kills. As you see, if I had a premium account, I would get twice as many research points and 50% more silver lines than I did. But my premium account ran out like last week, so it's a shame. There's one more thing I figured I should talk about when it comes to monetization that I kind of forgot about, and that's modules. So all of all these different things are very important. Parts is the most important. Without parts, you cannot fix your tank if something gets broken. Like if someone shoots out your gun barrel, you can't shoot back, and if you don't have parts to fix it, you're useless. Fire prevention equipment. Without this, you can't put out fires, and you will just die. Uh, this is a type of an upgraded round, which is pretty much necessary to actually killing things at top tier. And this is a better version of that. And so basically, you have to play a shit ton of games. Like I've played. If you look, BVM. I have played 67 games in it, and I'm not even halfway close to getting all of the modules. So you need to play through every tank a ton to be able to actually make it work as well as it possibly can, which incentivizes spending these boys because you can just purchase things off the bat like this, which incentivizes more spending money on the game. Um, I have to say, this has been an overall very negative video when it comes to like my sort of opinions on things. I gotta admit, I love this game. They do so many things so well. Like look at this model. This model is so cool. Um, it's got like internal parts, and there are like lots of different aspects of this game that have made it really fun for me. There's so many different things. They're like it does so much well. It's just that the monetization has really kind of dragged it down. Like I love what they do with their modeling. The art team always does just so much work. These things look beautiful. They're gorgeous. Like, just look at the graphics. I mean, it's a fantastic game in that regard. It's just such a shame to see it in the state that it's in when it comes to monetization. To that end, thank you for watching. I know this is a really fucking long video, but I hope you at least learned something about it, and it was at least a little bit entertaining. And hopefully you liked the gameplay as well.